This sorcery was developed to oppose the Round Table hold and is effective only against the tarnished. There are people who want to get rid of the people who are trying to kind of fulfill this story of becoming the Elden Lord. That's kind of what the Round Table hold is all about, is finding the next Elden Lord and helping Tarnished become the Elden Lord. Hey everybody, Coop here. As many of you guys already know, Shadows of the Erdtree has been announced. It's the upcoming DLC for Elden Ring, and people are already using the kind of key artwork that they've shared with us to conjecture about what's coming up in the DLC. Lots of people have been focusing on who this character is down here, but what I'm really curious about is this tree and what it's going to tell us about the upcoming content. So for those of you who can't quite tell what we're looking at, this is very obviously the Erdtree and a second tree kind of curling around the Erdtree, grabbing onto it and kind of consuming it, maybe even breaking it open. In case you're not totally convinced, this tree and the Erdtree are at the same angle. The Erdtree kind of has this signature kind of like tilted angle to it, and you can literally see at the bottom here that there are kind of two separate trunks coming from two different areas here out of the ground. It's swirling up and kind of consuming the tree, breaking it open, probably releasing some sort of sap or energy or something like that. The only real place to go when it comes to thinking about this is this black tree that we see where Godwyn the Golden is. This, first of all, is the only black tree that we've seen. It also seems to be doing some sort of grafting type thing. It's reaching up from here, looking to kind of sneak up the roots, and these roots are either the roots of the Crucible tree or the roots of the Erdtree itself, but the Erdtree already kind of usurped the old Crucible tree, so maybe this is just one more tree doing exactly the same thing. As well, we see that in the design of this tree, it's much more fleshy and bumpy and kind of has these grasping tendrils as part of its design. As well, there's quite a lot of eyeballs in the tree itself. If we go up into the tree, there are other eyeballs on the actual bark itself. Yeah, like this guy right here. If you want a good video breaking all of this stuff down, by the way, I highly recommend Zully the Witch's video about it. But given the black tree nature, the fact that it's kind of grafting itself onto an existing tree, there seems to be some sort of eyeball iconography happening here and here. Could be. That's definitely too much to say. For my money, I think that that's kind of a hint as to where the lore is going. I think that we're going to be seeing a Godwyn the Golden and Fia kind of themed DLC, which is really exciting. He's a character that has not gotten a lot of love and detail added to him, so that would be really cool. One of the things that also makes me really excited about Deathblight is that Deathblight does really interesting things in terms of telling us what kind of content might come with the DLC. Currently in the game, there's only 2 items that we can use that build up Deathblight, which is the Eclipse Shottle and Fia's Mist. And there's a line on Fia's Mist that I think can give us a really interesting indicator about the direction of the DLC. Again, if this is a Deathblight DLC. This sorcery was developed to oppose the Round Table hold and is effective only against the tarnished. So there's 2 texts there that are really interesting. So first of all, the DLC is called Shadow of the Erdtree, which tells me that there's either something in opposition or a natural consequence of the Erdtree, something like that. So this flavor text of a sorcery developed to oppose the Round Table hold is a particularly interesting bit of text for me, because it tells us that there are people who want to get rid of the people who are trying to kind of fulfill this story of becoming the Elden Lord. That's kind of what the Round Table hold is all about, is finding the next Elden Lord and helping Tarnished become the Elden Lord. The other part that is really interesting to me, again, if this is a Deathblight focused DLC, is that Deathblight is only effective against Tarnished. We face very few enemies that deal Deathblight. We have very few weapons and spells that deal with Deathblight. If we use Deathblight, it's basically not effective against anything on the PvE side of the game. So firstly, that makes me question, maybe they're going to change that, maybe they won't. The other thing is that I think this opens up a lot of content opportunities for PvP, or sort of PvP and PvE combined content, which is the stuff that gets me most excited. I think, for example, that Fia's Champions boss fight was a huge missed opportunity. Those definitely should have been player characters. Like, having that as a player character boss, I think would have been way better than just having these random NPCs come out. And so personally, something I would really like to see in the DLC is a PvP boss fight, similar to, say, Spear of the Church from DS3 or Old Monk from Demon Souls. Another hope that I have is that I hope that we see a unique legacy dungeon implemented in the DLC where anyone, regardless whether you are co-oping or not, can be invaded. But I think having a unique Deathblight themed legacy dungeon where you can invade anyone, including solo hosts, just seems super fitting and on point. The point is, I think if this is the case that Deathblight DLC is that Deathblight is the flavor of the DLC, I think this opens really interesting options for them to include creative ways of integrating the PvP to the game. One thing that we've seen them do a lot through the patches is that PvP has been the center of most of the patching of the game. So they've been putting a lot of energy and effort into the PvP side of the game, despite there being lots of numerous flaws still in the game. And so there's a good chance, in my opinion, that we are going to see a lot more PvP focused content in the DLC. Again, I just don't really see any other conclusion being possible if it is the case that it is a Deathblight based DLC. Obviously, this is just kind of my opinion based on the things that I'm seeing, so don't take what I'm saying here too seriously. This is all conjecture based off of one image that we've received. Something that was on Elden Ring, like the Japanese version of the Twitter, is they had this website that you could click on, where you can get the full resolution wallpaper, by the way. But one of the interesting things that it says that the English one doesn't is the follow-up report is still a little ahead, meaning like coming up ahead, but I would appreciate it if you would look forward to it. What this indicates is that there's going to be a report or some sort of like update giving us more information sometime in the near future. So hopefully that will clarify. I'm really I'm hopeful and anticipating that we're going to see like an actual like video trailer. I do think it's a bit strange to just do an image instead of an actual trailer for the DLC, but especially given the fact that they did a trailer for, a video trailer release for the Arena DLC, seems a bit strange. But in any case, I'm very excited to see what comes up next. Let me know what you guys think about the potential for DLC in the comments below, and look forward to me talking more about this as we get more information on the DLC. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Don't forget to hit subscribe and all that, and I'll see you next time.